Welcome to Mindfucks with Mahara, where we flip your perspective, challenge your thinking, and leave you feeling surprisingly amazing about it all. I'm your host, Mahara, and this podcast is for the rebels ready to rage against their comfort zone, for those willing to flip their finger at mediocrity and sit in the fire of discomfort, knowing that's where the magic happens. Each episode, I'll share insights that might just blow your mind in the best possible way. So if you are ready to have your world rocked and your thoughts rewired, you are in the right place. Let's dive in. Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to Mindfucks with Mahara, where we don't do shallow pep talks or performative healing. What we do instead is truth, deep, gritty, unfiltered truth, because your wholeness is holy. And I'm here to remind you, you don't need another damn productivity hack. What you need is permission to unravel. Yeah, you heard me. Today's episode, it's personal, it's disruptive, and can I say long overdue? Yeah, it's called Stop Polishing Your Pain. Perfectionism is a trauma response. You're probably shaking your head, but let me ask you this. If you've ever called yourself a perfectionist with pride, this is your intervention. If you've been silently drowning in your own expectations, this is your liberation. And yes, we're going to break down how this plays out through the Trinity. You know, I've been talking about it a lot lately, your shadow queen, your inner critic, and your divine guide. Because until you understand who's driving the perfectionist pattern, you'll keep thinking it's, just who you are. Let's go. Okay, here is the polished lie that we've bought into. We live in a culture that rewards polish, tidy success, and flawless branding, filtered faces. Even our healing has been curated for likes. But here's the real mindfuck. Perfectionism isn't power, it's a polished trauma response. I want to say that louder. Perfectionism is your nervous system in fight or flight, disguised as a spreadsheet and a smile. It's not about high achieving. It's about trying to outrun shame. I see it all the time in my clients, women who are crushing it on paper, but spiritually starving. They've mastered the art of looking fine while falling apart. And truthfully, that was my story. I know of a woman who was running a multi-million-dollar wellness brand. Outwardly, she had it all: the team, the numbers, the influence. But every night, she found herself refreshing Slack one last time before bed, just in case. She told herself, I can't afford to let anything slip. But what she really meant was, I don't feel safe unless everything is exactly the way I want it. Let that land. You see, perfectionism is not a personality trait, it's a defense mechanism. A highly compensated bodyguard for your deepest wounds. A beautifully decorated cage that whispers, if I just try hard enough, fix enough, prove enough, then I'll be safe. Then maybe no one will leave. Then maybe I'll be loved. Then maybe shame won't catch up with me. Here's how it shows up, guys. You over-edit everything. You procrastinate because it's not ready. You armor up so no one sees your mess. You over-explain because your inner critic won't shut up. You shrink your joy and you resist rest. And you get praised for it. So professional, such high standards. You always go above and beyond. But that's not empowerment, guys. That's socially sanctioned self-abandonment. You're not being rewarded for your wholeness. And I think that's what's so important to understand. You're being rewarded for betraying your nervous system. And before you say, but Mara, I like doing things well. Are you allowed to do things imperfectly? That's the question. Are you allowed to show up messy, divine, undone? Or is your worth still living on the other side of someone else's comfort? Because perfectionism isn't about excellence. It's about control. It's about managing perception. It's about armoring up so you never feel that old pain again. But, sweetheart, control is a trauma drug. And you're not free. You're just high on hypervigilance. You were not born to be palatable. Ladies, you were born to be powerful, and power doesn't come from polish. It comes from presence. I'm going to repeat that. I love it so much. Power does not come from polish, it comes from presence. All right. That pattern, by the way, didn't just fall out of the sky. You weren't born a perfectionist, you were conditioned into it. You were born whole, curious, messy, expressive, wild. And someone, somewhere, taught you that being yourself was dangerous. Maybe it was a parent who exploded when you got it wrong, or a teacher who praised achievement but ignored your pain, a partner who pulled away when you had needs, a culture that handed you a checklist labeled how to be good. So here's what you learned. You learned that love is earned. Safety is performative. Perfection equals protection. Your nervous system listened, guys. It obeyed. It learned the rules. Mistakes, that means punishment. Success equals safety. Control equals worth. So you started performing. You maybe edited your emotions along the way. You buried your softness. You built a life around being good instead of being whole. And let's not shame that, okay? Let's honor it for what it is. That younger version of you, she did what she had to do to survive. But now you're a grown ass woman. Same rules don't apply. You don't need to stay small to stay safe. It's not your fault, by the way, that you are programmed this way, but it is your responsibility to unlearn it. That's a revolution. That's a reclamation that I talk about every single day. So tell your younger self when she pops up, I see you, I honor you, I've got it from here. And then start living from your wholeness, not your wound. So let's talk about how this inner critic is driving the bus. She's the voice that wakes up before you do. That wasn't good enough. You're falling behind. You can't post that. You should have done more. You know her, of course. She's your inner critic. But here's the thing, she's not a bitch. She's not evil. She's a bruised protector who showed up the moment you felt ashamed and alone. Her job? Scan for danger 24/7. Oh my God, that's all she does. Avoid humiliation at all costs. Prevent rejection. Keep you small, quiet, safe. She audits your work. She rewrites your texts. She holds you hostage at the end of your dreams. She sabotages rest. She kills your creativity, shutting down your intuition. She clips your wings. But here's the thing. I talk about this all the time. She's just trying to keep you alive. And she's doing it with outdated software. That's the challenge. And if you let her drive, you'll stay trapped in the loop of not yet. Always one more training, one more tweak, one more reason to hide. But here's the thing, guys, she's not qualified to lead your life anymore. You can let her sit in the back seat. She can have the clipboard, right? She can even take notes, but you are the one driving now. The moment you stop mistaking her panic for truth, that's when you reclaim your life. So say it with me. Thank you for trying to protect me, but we're doing it differently now. That, my love, is emotional reparenting. That's spiritual leadership. And that is what freedom feels like. All right, let's look at the Shadow Queen's role in your perfectionism. She is the inner archetype beneath the inner critic. She's not messy, she's meticulous. She's not chaotic at all, she's actually calculated. She's the ruler of emotional control. She learned that power without armor was dangerous. So she built a fortress of routines, expectations, and perfection. She runs your healing like a corporation. She clutches at your spiritual tools like weapons, filtering your emotion through productivity. And underneath that icy crown she wears, oh, there's a deep sacred grief. Grief for the parts of you that never got to exist. Grief for the self-expression she buried to keep you safe. Grief for all the time she said, hold it together or we're not going to survive this. She's not your villain though. She is your exhausted protector. But she's tired of managing your image or of suppressing your soul, of keeping the kingdom looking good while the queen is starving. Your job isn't to fight her. It's actually to meet her with reverence. So sit with her and say, I see you. I know what you carried. You can rest now. Because the more she trusts you to lead with softness and truth, the more she transforms from Shadow Queen into sovereign self. Okay, let's take a look at a soul truth about control. Control is not a spiritual strategy. You can manifest, you can meditate, you can vision board your life into a Pinterest worthy grid. But seriously, if underneath all of that, you're still micromanaging the conditions of your worth, well, that's not alignment, guys. That's fear wearing, beautiful crystals. Control isn't trust. Control isn't power. Control is a trauma response that says, if I manage everything perfectly, I'll finally be safe. But the divine doesn't respond to polish. She responds to presence, to truth, to resonance. Your divine guide, she doesn't say prove it. She says, let it be enough. Let it be now. Let it be messy. She's the voice inside you that knows peace doesn't arrive after perfection. Peace is what shows up when you stop pretending. So if you're tired of holding it all together, good. That exhaustion is sacred. It's a divine invitation to surrender the hustle and root back into your enoughness. All right, let's look at the hidden costs here. Now let's get honest about what this perfectionist pattern is actually costing you. Number one, connection. You can't be fully loved if people only ever meet your mask. The real ones want you, not the curated version. Creativity. Your genius dies when everything has to be perfect. Magic doesn't live in control, it lives in permission. You also lose capacity. You see, burnout isn't a badge. It's your soul waving a white flag while your ego clings to the to-do list. You probably are also sacrificing some peace. Perfectionism replaces presence with pressure. God, all these P's. If you're waiting to feel calm when it's all done, you're going to wait forever. You also risk this idea of becoming. The next version of you can't emerge if she has to pass a performative review first. Your evolution lives in the in-between, in the messy middle, in the undone. I've talked about this many times before, that the magic lives in the moments between. And this is another example of that. So stop polishing and start becoming. All right, let's look at how we actually unlearn this. I'm going to share with you 7 sacred shifts. Number 1, name it. Call out your perfectionism when it shows up, because awareness is everything. You know that. Awareness, acceptance, aligned action. 3 steps to growth. Number 2, let done be divine. Release the grip, send it, share it, launch it, speak it, do it. Number 3, create a permission ritual. I love this one. Say it daily. I am safe to be seen in my becoming. I am safe to be seen in my becoming. Number 4, talk back to your inner critic. Yes, talk about this all the time. And do this out loud. Thanks, but I'm leading now. Number 5, celebrate one flaw every day. A typo, a stumble, a raw moment. That's proof of freedom. Tune into your divine guide, number 6, and ask, what would I do if I trusted I was enough? And number 7, burn the scorecard. Stop measuring worth by what you earn. Start receiving what's already yours. All right. Here is a soul level challenge for every one of you. Practice radical enoughness this week. Yes, wear the outfit that's wrinkled, I dare you. Say the thing, even if your voice shakes when you do it. Post the messy truth. Leave something undone. Don't explain. I love that, don't explain. Each night, journal. What did I do today that felt raw, real, and enough? Because your healing won't arrive through perfection, guys. It's waiting in your presence. All right. Here's the truth bomb of this podcast. You don't need to be flawless. You don't need to be fixed. You don't need to be more of anything. You're not a project. You're a prayer already answered. The divine never asked you to be perfect. She asked you to be real. So let the polish go. Let the mask crack. Let your sacred humanity rise, because your rawness, that is your radiance. Well, if this episode cracked something open in you, my invitation is to come join us in the Trinity Transformation. This is my 3-week mini mastermind. It goes on a regular basis. That's where we unravel these patterns together, the inner critic, the shadow queen, and the divine guide, so you can stop performing and start becoming. So head on over to www.mindfulnesswithmahara.com and say yes to yourself. And if this lit a fire in you, share it, review it, scream it from your perfectly imperfect rooftop. Here's to you, radiant rebel, messy, magnificent, and finally free. My name is Mahara. Have an amazing week. I'll see you next time on Mindfucks with Mahara.